My first guest of the evening is Tubby Raymond. He's in his 18th year, believe it or not, as head coach of the University of Delaware football team. Also, although not now, but he was 9 years the head baseball coach. Now, during his years as the football coach, he's compiled quite a record. I'll just run down some of the statistics for you. He led his teams to 10 Lambert Cups, Eastern Collegiate Championships, 2 back-to-back Wire Service National Championships in 1971 and 1972, and to the NCAA Championship Tournament Finals in 1974, 1978, and 1982, and to the NCAA Division II National Championships in 1979. It's a pleasure and honor to welcome to Focus Delaware Tubby Raymond.
Bob, nice being with you. That's pretty heavy stuff there you're throwing around.
Did I get it all right?
I think you did. I think, well, we're close anyway.
Tubby, let's get down to the basics. You're really a model. I understand recently at the flower market modeling show, you were one of the standout models.
May I say, Robert, that any fashion show that would have me as a model couldn't have been very much. So let's just stop at that.
Okay. Okay. Well, now let's turn to your other career, football coaching. What made you decide to get into this business?
Well, I was looking for something that didn't pay a lot of money, and no, I think I wanted to be a football coach when I realized the impact that the experience of football could have on people. And selfishly, it's a great thrill for me to work with young people and to see them develop and as individuals and also as a football team.
In other words, you're interested both in their development as a athlete as well as personal development.
Well, I think if you don't feel that way, your career will be short-lived because essentially you're doing the same thing year after year if you look at it any other way. If you look at the team personality, then this coming year is unique and different and very special and completely new, and that's what makes it fun.
Well, I'll ask you a question now that you've been asked many times before. What brought you to Delaware? How did you get here?
Well, I left the University of Michigan, went to the University of Maine, and was there 3 years. And Dave Nelson, upon his move to Delaware, said, if I ever have an opening, I'll give you a call. And he did, and I did, and that started it all.
And what year was that, when you first came here as an assistant?
That was 1954. I think you should recognize that I was only 10 years old at the time.
Of course, of course. Now, you've had a very successful record. Now, what do you attribute that to?
Well, we have a very fine school. We have a great tradition. We have some attractive academic programs,
yes.
And the area is conducive to an interest in football, and I think that all of those things put together, along with some very fine football coaches, assistant coaches, family. We're really family. All of our football coaches played for me at one time or another. With the exception perhaps of 1 or 2, and I think all of that has gone together to help us.
Mm-hmm. You know, the recruits this year are a good batch. I understand you've already got 30 tied up. John Sheriff's being one of them, an all-star standout. How does this new batch look?
Well, I love to hedge at this stage of the game. They're pretty, and they have great stats and numbers, and John
yes.
Sheriff is a great example of this, and certainly I'm not being facetious, but in reality they won't play this next year. It'll be 2 years from now before we get to see them as varsity players. It looks like a good class, and I'm old enough to say I'll wait and see.
Okay, having been through it a couple times before. Now, is the schedule a little tougher this year? I know one of the criticisms was, well, it was soft last year, maybe due to the fact that you had to replace some teams at the last minute on your schedule.
I think this is a great error in judgment. I think that some things happen that make it look that way. Certainly no one could have accused us of having a soft schedule when we beat Lehigh by 1 point and then the University of Massachusetts by 1 point the next week. And then later things started to go well. The game at Towson, for example, at the university in the middle of the season was a very close game at halftime. 2 or 3 things happen, we end up with too many points, and people say, oh, that's very easy. And what an easy schedule. William and Mary comes in here with a pretty good football team, but turn the ball over quickly, and we end up with 62 points, and everyone says, ha-ha, very soft schedule. Then we score well against Bucknell, and again, the same criticism. And yet the week before Bucknell played us, they had a very fine game with Boston University and lost by only 4 points. and Boston University is in the national playoff scene, and no one recognizes that. So, again, I'm old enough to let those things roll off my back, and it will always be the same, I think, at Delaware. If we win, we're not playing anyone, and if we come close, we're not quite doing as good a job as we should, and if we lose, horrors, we've got real problems.
You can't win, is it?
That's a fact.
Now, of course, you can see football at University of Delaware Stadium, and now you can see the football games delayed on WNS-TV Cable 2. How do you feel about having your games televised?
Is that right? I didn't know they were televised.
No,
obviously,
yes,
I'm kidding you, Bob. I think it's wonderful. As a matter of fact, I enjoy watching on Wednesday evenings following our radio program. And there's an angle that we don't have. I see some things that we didn't see before. And as a matter of fact, on Thursday morning, there's some discussion often of what coaches saw on Channel 2 that we didn't see Sunday afternoon all day with our movies.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you're getting that input. Do you think that the national televised games helps in terms of recruiting? Does it have an impact?
Well, I think it's part of our total package. We're not in the entertainment business, and we certainly the attention makes us known in the area when we are recruiting, and I think that the prospective student recognizes that football is important to Delaware and as part of the academic picture and part of the academic community, and I think that helps us.
Now, your son has been a guest on our show, the Philly Fanatic, alias Dave Raymond. How do you feel about having your son as the Philly Fanatic? Well,
you know, there are very proud parents who are delighted with the success of their kids, and then there are others that you just say, well, I mean, what are you going to do? The guy's a clown.
He's a professional.
We're proud of him, and I think he's done a great job, and I hope that he continues in a career of entertainment. I think that's probably where he belongs.
Now, Al Cartwright, retired News Journal columnist, wrote an excellent book. How do you feel about the book? The stars, what's the name of the guy? Tubby Raymond.
Let me tell you, you can still get that book if you hurry. And
I think I've heard that line before.
Originally, it was $12.95, but if you hurry now, you can get it for $13.95, and there are only a few copies left.
What printing is it in?
The second. The first one was blurred.
Oh, I see. I think that was Al Cartwright's line, too.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Now, you're also involved in a couple of charitable organizations, Tubby. Exactly what is your involvement?
Well, I have been involved or felt a responsibility to the community for a long time, and in reality, I have probably helped in every fundraising, every charitable fundraising campaign that we have in the state, from the Lung Association through the Heart and the March of Dimes and the United Fund and all, and I tell everybody that I've been overexposed, but if they want my help, that I have been anxious to join.
Very briefly, where do you go from here? Where do you want to go? Where do you see yourself? Do you see yourself continuing here definitely till the end of your career?
I'm going to go and get dinner as soon as this is over.
Can't pin this guy down.
Specifically, you missed something that I said that I think is very important early. Every season is unique, so that this next fall, I have a whole new world of challenges and excitement. If I looked at it any other way, I'm sure I would have left a long time ago.
Okay, I've got to accept that. This has been Tubby Raymond, University of Delaware football coach. Great career he's had here, and we wish him many more years.